Hey guys, my name is Greg Johnston. I am uh, the the CEO of Southeastern Support Care Services. I'm also an occupational therapist, and this is my channel, the Occupied Life. And I'm really excited today to to uh, to introduce you to a very special guest of mine. Now, this is a first for me with interviews. Normally, I've done interviews with people that I know pretty well or I have at least met before. I met Taylor for the first time just a couple of minutes ago, right before I hit the record button. So let me tell you a little bit about Taylor and how I got introduced to him. First of all, I did an interview with my good friend Diana Penn over the summer on communication issues. If you haven't seen that video, I would encourage you to go and look at it. It is also on my channel. So let me tell you about Taylor. Diana recommended that I do an interview with him. He is a student at Southern Union Community College. He has a strong interest in history and politics, and Diana tells me that his knowledge in those subjects would put most people to shame. So you got a fan there, Taylor. He's also a huge NASCAR fan. I'm told that he's quick-witted. He'll make you laugh in a heartbeat. And also, you will notice very quickly that he uses a device for communication. He has an iPad Pro with a Communicator 5 software, and he has been assisting Toby Dynavox Solutions consultants with training and demonstrations. So he's not just a user, but he's also involved in the instruction side of that, which is really cool. He was awarded in February of this year the 2020 AAC User Award by the Speech and Hearing Association of Alabama. So kudos on that. That's great. So Taylor, thanks for being here. Thanks for agreeing to do this with me. I'm looking forward to this interview. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into my questions. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Okay, good. Since you will be using your communication device for this interview, could you explain, for the benefit of my audience, how it works and why you need to use it?
I use my communication device because I can't talk. It's essentially my voice.
Okay, very good. So tell me a little bit about your health challenges. You know, as I mentioned, I just met you, so I don't really know a lot of your background. So tell me a little bit about your health challenges. I'm particularly interested in the challenges that you've had to overcome to do the things that you want to do.
I really don't have health challenges. I'm relatively healthy.
Okay. So I understand that you're a college student, and could you tell my audience what you're studying and what you want to do for a living?
Well, I'm taking a break from school so that my mom can focus on her clinicals. I'm ready to jump back in January.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And could you answer this question for me? Do you have barriers that you have to overcome in able to be a college student, or have you had barriers that you've had to overcome?
I had a major surgery the year that I graduated from Beulah High School.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of want to ask you a follow-up question on that, but I'm not sure if that would be a good thing for me to do. Just curious about what kind of surgery you had. Is that something you can answer for me? Maybe later. Okay. All right. Maybe we'll do a follow-up later, and let me just move on into my next question. Let's see. So as a college student, what kind of support do you have to be successful in that environment? I wanted to drop a little audio into this section of the video because one of the things you'll notice is that it takes Taylor a while to formulate a response. I know that some of his responses are pre-programmed, but some he's coming up with on the fly. And in this particular segment, it takes several minutes for him to formulate his response. And I think what's happening in this situation is that he's wrestling with what he wants to say, and he's not really sure about how to answer. And as someone who doesn't know him very well, never met him before today, I was unsure how much space to give him, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to talk over someone when they're working on their response. So it's something that if I knew him better, we may have done the interview slightly differently. But what I wanted to highlight while he's searching for his answer is how he's really using his pinky on his right hand to make selections. Now, his device, he didn't really go into a lot of detail about how it works, but there are word and phrase banks that I believe are part of his system. So responses that he commonly gives come up a lot faster. Now, the nature of the interview we were doing, the questions I was asking are probably not the kinds of questions that come up very often for him, and so it's taking him a little while to come up with his answer. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this clip right here and move into the next question, because it does take a considerable amount of time to wait while we're doing therapy. And if you're in person, it's a great it's something that's appropriate to sit and wait and be polite, but in respecting the time of the viewer, I don't want to lose people while we're sitting and waiting for an answer. So just wanted to explain that to you.
It takes a lot of toll on my body.
Mm-hmm. Taylor, I just want to make a comment real quick. Since I don't really know you, what I'm trying to do is give you space to answer questions. If it's taking you a little time to go through and find your answers, I'm just sort of watching you work. I want to give you space for that. So if you want me to move on, just kind of gesture at me, or if I need to repeat something, I'll do that. Okay. I don't want you to just feel like you're stuck and you have to give me something. I'm just not sure how you're typically working. That's why I'm giving you that space. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Let me move on to my next question. It's about the award that you won, the 2020 AAC User of the Year in Alabama. could you tell me how that came about? What did you do?
Thank you. It came about when a certain lovely lady named Diana Penn nominated me for the AAC award.
Okay. Well, awesome. Very good. Yeah. So I picked up on my next question. I wanted to ask about your living situation. It seems pretty apparent that you're living with your parents, but I wanted to ask you um, if you have expectations of living on your own at some point. And before you answer that question, or you can go ahead and start working on it, but let me just explain for my audience, the reason I'm especially interested in that is because of the work I do with my organization, Southeastern Support Care Services. What I'm trying to do with that organization is help young adults learn to live as independently as possible. And so we're learning so they're learning to do various things, develop new skills, and we come along, we provide support to them where they need it so that they can live very satisfying lives. That's the goal of our organization. And so I'm especially interested in interviews like this. So Taylor, back to your question about your expectation of living on your own at some point. Do you see that?
Yes, I plan to live on my own.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and that's one of those things that this sort of takes knowing that that's a goal and an interest is sort of a first step, but there are many steps along the way that help you get there. And so that organizations like mine and others, we want to provide support for those kinds of things. I'm sure that you probably get a great amount of support from your family as well. So I wish you the best on moving in that direction. All right. Now, I want you to tell me what kinds of things you like to do for fun.
I love to watch NASCAR and political videos on YouTube.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, growing up, my dad was a huge NASCAR fan, and I didn't appreciate it at the time the way I appreciate it now. But I can remember many Sunday afternoons him turning on the NASCAR races and laying on the couch and falling asleep, and we sneak in there to try to change the channel. And as soon as we change it, he goes, "I'm watching that. Turn it back." So I come from a NASCAR loving family myself. All right, tell me this. Well, Diana, one of the things she said when I spoke to her about you was she talked about your sense of humor, and so I thought I would give you the opportunity, if you have a funny story or a joke to tell, here's your chance. You can tell it to my audience.
What do you call Democrats? A donkey. I wanted to say something else, but I wanted to be the respectful to the children watching.
Okay. Okay, well, I appreciate your discretion with that. Yeah, I don't know who I was watching, but I I do appreciate that. All right. I try to have a non-political channel, but I guess I'll also, I'm a free speech channel. I want my people that I interview to be able to speak freely and say what they want to say. So there you go. Okay, last question for you, Taylor. I want to know what has been the most challenging situation you've had to face, and how have you handled it?
My biggest challenge was getting more accessibility at my high school. My aide, Jennifer Jacobs, my mom and I went to the principal and the assistant principal. Eventually, we got more accessibility for all kids.
Oh, that's awesome. So not just for you, but for other kids as well. That's great. You're an advocate. That, you know, that's a potential career path as well. You know, being able to help other people who have challenges. That's great. I always appreciate someone who is looking out not just for their own interests, but for the interests of others. So that's awesome. Taylor, that's the end of my questions. Did you have anything else you wanted to tell me?
I want to be a politician. I know people think of politicians, but I love this country. I want to be the next FDR, but as a conservative.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well,
thank you for having me on your channel.
So that I didn't hear that. Oh, can you repeat that?
Thank you for having me on your channel.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for being willing to do this. I do appreciate it. You're a great example of someone who's getting out there and taking care of things and using your skills for not just your own benefit, but as you mentioned, the benefit of others. So I just appreciate your time. I think your story is going to resonate with a lot of people, and hopefully it'll be encouraging to, what I'd like for it to do is be encouraging for people who have young children who maybe have issues with their communication, and they wonder what life's going to be like. Well, you give, you know, your example here with this interview, will give some of these people hope that they can do things, and they can be the person they want to be. So I just appreciate that so much. All right, so let me just close this out, and don't go away. I want to talk to you after I turn the recording off, okay? Just for a minute. So everybody, thank you for tuning in and watching this interview. I love doing these interviews. I love letting people tell their own stories to share with you, so that you can see the challenges they face, the obstacles they overcome. We are all made in God's image, and I believe that. And I think it doesn't matter the challenges you have. You can live a satisfying life. You can grow in your own independence, and I just want to encourage you guys with that. If you like this interview and you'd like to see more of these, you would help me out if you would hit the like button, if you would make comments, and if you would subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. You guys take care. Thank you.